Flat Earth Debate live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by DJ Wandek, Neil, Refracted Curvature, and a whole bunch of people in the Politics Discord server. So welcome one and all.
Greetings.
Hello.
Well, what a fine and enthusiastic start to the show. Should we do housekeeping, or should we emphasise the 2024 rhetoric of Earth being measured flat? Which should we do? I say we ask a housekeeping question. Go on, John.
Being the redneck hillbilly character in the cult, I think we should ask a housekeeping question.
Okay. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No.
Is gravity a downward force?
I mean, you first have to observe gravity, as in a natural phenomena in the first instance. So I don't know what that observation would be.
I think they say it's things appearing to fall to the ground or things falling down at 9.8 meters per second.
What, as in everything falling down?
Maybe we can get some clarity. I mean, we've got a whole bunch of people in the Discord server. We're in a foreign server today, so I may have mentioned it in the intro. We're in the Politics Discord server. Hopefully one of my mods can drop a link to the Politics Discord server in the live stream chat so that you can join this server if you choose to. But go ahead, Globe Shackler. No? Well, we're looking to be set straight. We're just getting a bit of clarity, hopefully, from you guys. There must be some bull-believing people in the Discord server that can help us gain clarity on what we mean by gravity. We're obviously all flat earthers and don't really understand. Can someone shed some light on it?
I'd like to say I'm in the Twilight Zone. Based off the observations from the point of, like, on the beach looking out and using a reference point. So da-da-da-da-da. However, gravity, even from like a globalist perspective, it's pretty clear that we don't know. We assume, and everyone has their own opinions, but we don't know how it is. So it's almost like asking the purpose and the point of creation. But anyway, it's one of those things that you can't compare to anything else. We're talking
Is
about
it like,
any.
well, just out of curiosity, is it things falling down? Is that what you think it is when things fall down?
He's not a baller, but if some baller in the chat could just lend clarity to us, we're just trying to ascertain what gravity is. Globe Shackler, can you pop yourself on mute, please? You're hot micing. Globe Shackler. Hello, Globe Shackler, can you pop yourself on mute? No?
I mean, even in the Newtonian so-called gravity, that's claims that everything goes down, but that isn't actually happening, especially with gas pressure expanding into all directions and filling all available space. If they are claiming things are going down to the center of a presupposed globe, then they're going to need to provide some evidence of that globe. And I can bet £1 to $1 that when they try to prove that they live on a globe, they will be explaining how they measure Earth flat.
Well, yeah, you kind of did just then when you said down instead of in.
Yeah, no up and down in the globe, only in and out.
Well, that kind of scuppers any scientific evidence of gravity. What about any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics? Have we
What
scared
about
off?
an
Negative.
example of a
Have we scared
perspective?
them off? Have we scared off all the globe
Well,
believers?
what about a perspective?
What about-
Is this?
What about perspective, did you say?
Yeah. So imagine you're in a balloon, a massive balloon, and it's filled up. The pressurization makes a perfect cylinder. I'm not saying that's an argument for the globe. However, it's an equal pressure point. So what is the fundamental shape that it would form if everything was equal on both sides, pushing outwards or inwards? It would be a circle. It would be a globe, a cylinder. So imagine you're in this massive balloon, and so a huge balloon, if you look straight ahead, you wouldn't be able to see. You'd see like it kind of curve up, but it'd be very distant, and who knows what sort of environment I'm talking about. Maybe you would see it clearly, whatever. But your gravity push from the expenditure of that balloon is equal on all sides. So it would feel like you would automatically say, yeah, what comes up must come down, and show these examples. But however, it's not a flat surface. It's in fact a pressurization that's equal on every side, thus making it feel like you could assume that it's just flat because we know that it pushes it down when it's not an actual fact. And that's we could see that and you know, we can kind of look at that in this reality and go, well, that's an argument to have.
I really don't follow.
And
what
then
you're
you could
saying.
also argue.
Inside
So
a-
when
you're
there's a
saying inside a
pressurization
balloon,
of equal,
you're looking
Yep.
in all directions when the equal pressure on all directions means it isn't flat. When you said that, I'm like, what's flat got to do with it at this point?
I know. I don't like bringing up the premissions of where this is going, but obviously it's going to be the argument of why should I believe, or why should anyone believe that the Earth is flat and not the globe that we've been told for ever how long we've been on this
Oh,
planet.
I see.
So
Because it's measured that
Pardon
way.
me.
Because that's how it's measured.
So the
Pardon me.
pressure of the expenditure, an example of the balloon, the pressure of the air pressure is kind of resembling the gravity in the situation, as an analogy. And so
No, you got a problem with your descriptions because you're describing in and out and then up and down. Those two things are not analogous. There's no way to connect them. You're doing it just through linguistics in like half-handed attempt, but they're not the same thing. They never will be.
But you slipped in a question in the middle of that, which didn't really make much sense to me, but fine. Which was, why would we believe Earth's flat rather than the globe they tell us? Well, because it's measured flat.
There you go.
I guess like the whole bridge construction thing over in America was all bullshit, bull study. But to me, I should look into that case and see if they're actually telling mincy pies in terms of taking the curvature of the Earth into consideration when they built that bridge.
No, you see, curvature of Earth is something that also requires, as a description, Earth be flat to describe it. So curvature, if there was some, would be a deviation from the horizontal plane of reference. So just the very description of curvature in Earth curve maths necessitates Earth have a horizontal plane of reference to describe Earth curvature. So when you say, would you
But when
take
you're
into
building
account Earth curvature when building things? Well, what you would, fantasize about a deviation from the horizontal plane you reference? Because in order to give that description, you'd have to reference a horizontal plane to do it, just like the Earth curve maths does.
So all the elevation and the static involved in finding the actual flatness is compromised. So that what you're saying is that the taking into consideration of the curvature is actually them taking into consideration of the elevation on both sides of the bridge.
No, I'm saying that to describe curvature in the first instance requires a flat plane to describe it from. And if you're building things like bridges and describing elevations in the vicinity, all of those elevations will be described from sea level. That's a horizontal plane, flat Earth. So you need a flat Earth to describe deviation from the flat plane, deviation from level, that's curvature. So first you've got a flat Earth, then you've got a description of curvature that comes afterwards. You're suggesting that bridge manufacturers would have to account for that which is derived from flat Earth measurements in terms of sea level, and deviations from those levels that you can establish when you build things. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. And what you're talking
the
about,
idea of the size. Okay.
what you're talking about them taking into account is probably the resolution loss at the horizon. Would you agree to that? The things disappearing from the bottom up? Is that what curvature is to you or them?
If you see something that is obstructed because it, following a mathematical model, and you put two and two together, then yes, that would be the curve interfering there. That would be the argument. Yeah. But that's what one
that's
would
you not
think,
understanding
right?
the mathematics. That's you not understanding the mathematics you're using. Sea level is a horizontal plane in those mathematics that you just described an obstruction with. What you're actually talking about is the resolution loss between two flat planes, your eye level and surface level. It's not a curve.
No, not Earth curve. Resolution loss described by their maths using a flat Earth to claim the drop from the plane they call surface level in Earth curve maths. Quick shout out to Jardo. Says, hey, politics mods, why do I need two-stage verification to get on this Discord page for Nathan's show? Says Jardo from the Super Chat. Take it up with them. That's their rules. Politics is very good. Well worth the two-step verification, I'm sure, Jardo. Thank you for the Super Chat. Yeah, you need a flat Earth to assert Earth curve. Did you not know that?
That's right. That's why it wasn't exactly straight when it got to the other end. It was actually on a curvature.
No, did you hear what I just said?
To maintain the straightness, so that would.
You've just reasserted
kind of
and rinse and repeat the same claim. This curvature you're asserting in your claim requires a flat Earth to be measured to derive the deviation from surface level. That's what Earth curve is. And I'm asking you, given that to claim that they should be accounting for something that is derived from a measurement of a reference plane, in this case sea level, why would you need to account for something that is derived from a measurement of Earth flat? That makes no sense. You're not going to account for something that is derived from how flat you measure the Earth. That makes absolutely no sense. You're using sea level, aren't you, when you're building bridges? You're establishing heights above surface level for all the topology around the bridge and the valley, right? That's how you build things. Well, you need surface level to do that. It needs to be level, not curved. The curve you're appealing to for the third time as you interrupt the third rendition of that which you've ignored. You're now interrupting me. I'll repeat it for a third time because you've hand-waved it twice. Third rendition. You're appealing to them accounting for something that is derived from flat Earth measurements in the first instance. So they're not going to be accounting for that. You can't account for how curved something is when you've just measured it flat to claim how curved it is. That makes no sense.
If they don't account for the curvature, it wouldn't meet on the other side properly.
The curvature.
They literally have
It's just ignored me for a fourth time. You don't understand what I've said, do you?
So the engineers that you had talked to...
No, that's not what I
say the
said. I
same
said you
thing that
don't understand what I said, did you? Because you've not responded to it 4 times. So you don't la off into a different subject. You didn't understand what I put to you, did you?
That's the point of perception where you are. Of course, it's going to be flat. You have to work with some sort of solidification. If the world was so small and the globe was so tiny, we're on like a baseball, yeah, perhaps that would be problematic. But we're not. We're on a giant, relatively giant Earth, and that brings up the assumption that it's possible for this model to exist in the first place. That's why it's so believable. If it wasn't believable, then the people who are trying to keep it under wraps wouldn't even try, because they knew that'd be like a kicking the dead horse, so to speak. They use it to the advantage because it's easily.
Yes, that was a thoroughly enjoyable word salad. I've put something to you 4 times. That is to say, the appeal to Earth curve requires a derivation of Earth curve from an Earth that's flat. And you've ignored it.
The argument
5. Now you're chanting through me.
That.
What's going on? Is it at this point you just decide that it's a subject change?
All.
It's sorry.
Well,
you're not acknowledging it.
I don't think that's
you're telling me you don't agree through the top of me expanding on something you've ignored 5 times. I want to say it once, and then get an assertion that you've actually bloody heard it once in the
but
attempt.
You just implied that you are saying that it's a flat Earth. So the argument's not even an argument anymore. You've just said it's a flat. You're basing it off a flat Earth. That's pretty
correct.
Ignorant.
That's correct. It's called
How
surface.
could you be so sure?
Well,
That's not the argument. We're trying to get
maybe
to the
I
bottom
could
of this, and
expand
you're
on it if you ever shut your mouth. Given that I'm the one making the claim and you won't shut your mouth.
Okay.
I'm making the claim. You don't need to yammer consistently when you disagree. Yeah, I can expand on it if you let me. Yeah, it's called surface level, the derivation of Earth curve. You appreciate that? That in your maths, there's surface level to derive that curve from.
Sure.
Yeah, that's surface level, and it's flat in your maths. Why are you interrupting me? Is this painful? Because it seems that this is now the 7th attempt to put this to you. You've disagreed. I'm expanding on it for you, giving you and your Earth curve maths as the example, where it specifically uses surface level. Furthermore, Al-Biruni's derivation of radius, on screen for my audience a moment ago, flat plane for the height of the mountain, required and necessitated. Earth must be measured as a flat plane to get the heights of mountains for Al-Biruni's radial derivation, and it's a derivation from surface level when you go up the mountain and ascertain eye level. The difference between the two is an inference of Earth curve sphericity below surface level that is flat. So, that's now the 7th time I've put this to you. You, for the inference that bridge manufacturers need to account for Earth curvature, is negated by the fact that inferences of Earth curvature come from measurements of Earth that is flat. I've given you 2 examples. Biruni and surface level in Earth curve maths. Both level, both flat, both the surface of Earth. Flat.
Even a bull has a surface, dude.
Doesn't have any flat surfaces that you would require to do triangles for heights of mountains. Certainly doesn't have those. Certainly doesn't have a capability of deriving differentials between surface level and eye level if you've got a curved surface. Why am I being rumpus when I overcome his rebuttal? Don't have to chant through me. My guy, I'm going to lose my temper with you pretty quickly. What I'm doing is annihilating that which you've claimed. You've claimed bridge manufacturers need to account for an Earth curve that isn't there because the curve that you think is there is derived from a measurement of an Earth with a surface level. That surface level isn't curving. You've put it to me that there's always going to be a flat plane on a curve. No, there isn't. In your own Earth curve maths, surface level is a plane and eye level is parallel with it. Those are facts within your Earth curve maths.
Talking about...
He's chanting through me again, 8th time. What's your malfunction, 3? Did you just start 3? I hadn't finished when you started chanting through the top of me. Now, I understand this must be painful for you, me pointing out that Earth curve maths has got a flat Earth in it, measured and called surface level. You don't have to like that, But chanting through it 8 times is just going to piss your opponent off. That's me. Don't do that.
Go on.
I've finished. I've put it to you 8 times. Earth must be flat for you to derive a curve to claim. Your bridge manufacturers need to account for it.
Yeah.
That's 9 times. 9 times, my man.
Okay. So what I was saying is with the ball has a surface. Every ball has a surface. If you're a micro-human, like just use your imagination if you can, and you look out to the plane, what would you think it is?
I think it's a begging the question
flat
fallacy.
surface?
Do you want me to answer you, or was it rhetorical? It's a begging the question
just
fallacy. If you
arguing
just
with
tell me that every ball's got a surface, that's you assuming Earth's a ball. That's called a begging the question fallacy. It's the most base form of... Shut up! Being pummeled doesn't mean you have to chant through me responding to you. What you've just done is beg the question, a logical fallacy.
You concluded the fact that was just a bang on the nail there, but it wasn't.
But it's not a horizontal plane.
Yes, I was going to get to the fact that it didn't in any way respond to the necessity for a horizontal plane called surface level in his maths when he begs the question that if we've got a ball and then chants through every single rendition of it. Mate, you're a zealot. And what you're now doing is chanting through the undoing of your religious belief, and I'm sick of it. Stop chanting through me. Just because I undo your faith doesn't mean that by talking through the top of me undoing your religious faith in a globe, it's going to stop it happening. It won't. I'll just have to highlight to my audience that you've chanted through me 9 times. Well, I've put to you that which you cannot respond to, because Earth is required to have a flat surface level to infer the curve you appealed to in the first instance. For your bridge example, now you've had your rebuttal 10 times. It's the first time it's been unimpeded. Would you like to respond to it?
Sure. So with the would argue why the engineers have to consider the curvature of this globe when they're constructing a bridge.
He's too dumb to understand my rebuttal. He's just too stupid. He can't comprehend what I've said.
No. The thing is, you're too stupid to understand my scenario that I put out to you.
Oh, I fully
Imagine
understand
if you're a tiny, smart little human that you are.
Maybe if you get really
tiny,
close to your
10,000
mic,
small.
maybe you getting really close to your mic as your irritation sings to my audience. No, you're frustrated, my friend. I've experienced this many times previously. Getting closer to your mic and telling me that I don't understand isn't going to undo the fact that I've put a rebuttal to you 10 times. And you've rinsed and repeat your original claim and are now telling me I don't understand your original claim. That's your 10th attempt. You're done, mate. You've been cooked.
It's not really that hard to understand. Look at your maths. It's got surface level as a horizontal plane, eye level as a parallel plane, and you're deriving a horizon that exists below surface level. How are you? What are you talking about?
He's not listening.
Curvature.
That's the problem. He's not listening, John.
Yeah, it's chanted through it.
He doesn't have to.
I just want to read out a quick super chat. Shout out to Unitox Femi, who says, ask him how enormous big giant Earth is, ? Then tell him to use his geometry and to compare it with reality. Thank you for the super chat, Unitox Femi.
Yeah, sure, I'd do that if that was easy to do. Have you guys been in a situation where you've had to build a bridge that long?
Sorry, what relevance does this have?
Here we are.
Sorry, this has no relevance. We've undone this argument 10 times. Sorry, my friend, unless you've got something else or a rebuttal to what I've put to you, yeah, I'm not interested in talking to you anymore. I've done it 10 times with a lot of interrupting and you getting closer to your mic with your irritation at what's happening.
I thought you told me to get closer to my mic.
No, definitely
that
not.
was miscommunication.
That's you not listening and comprehending the words that are coming out of my mouth because you're talking while I'm saying them. You need a flat Earth to derive Earth curve to appeal to it. Now he's chanting through the middle of the undoing of his claim again. There's you chanting through me. Maybe this is me asking you to get closer. No, mate, I was talking and pointing out your loss, where you lose, where you lost and failed because you appealed to an Earth curve that's derived from a flat Earth measurement. 11 times. Yeah, that's the dumbfounded...
Sorry, Tree. Sorry, Nathan.
That's the dumbfounded silence I'd expect.
Sorry, Tree. Nathan has said to you 10, 11 times that the Earth is measured flat. Did you hear that bit, or did you just ignore it? That's to you, Tree.
Yes, I heard it. It was
Cool. So you
measured
heard.
flat.
Good.
Okay.
So that's it. Conversation over. The Earth is measured flat.
And the
unless
vicinity
you've
that
got
you're at, of course, it's going to be flat. It's going to be flat enough for you to utilize any construction built within that radius. But when you expand out, then you have to consider the curvature of the Earth, because we are tiny compared to the Earth. That is why the perception is, when you go outside and you look at the horizon, it is flat. However, science always does this. It tricks us. It creeps up behind us and goes, wakey, wakey, it's not actually flat.
Okay, sorry.
Everything in this universe revolves around a
Just one sec.
cylinder.
Jedi, if you don't mind, I'll just pick up the reins again. You said when we're surveying and building stuff for the area that's being built on, it's built on flat, but that's only because it's a very big ball, correct? Do you want to expand on that a bit more?
Correct. Yep. I'll explain that more. So when you're in a construction place and you're looking at, maybe there's 50 acres to work with here, the curvature is going to be so minimal that it's not going to affect the work that you need to be done. When you're dealing with construction that is a connection, like a tunnel system, underground tunnel system that actually, I guess underground tunnels can actually
sorry,
bypass
just bear with me a
curvature.
second. You're going a bit too quickly. Sorry to butt in. So you
Sorry,
said, you said
so
you're
in the
measuring a few
construction.
acres. Yeah, you're talking about.
Yep. So
we got to a few acres, and it's just stop,
yeah.
chill, calm down.
No, I'm okay.
You need an Adderall
sorry,
pill. What's going on? Chill out.
Catch up. So,
no,
chill out.
You've added another thing. Tunnels. You started with acres of land. Now you won't shut your bleeding mouth. Yeah? You said acres of land. Okay. You said Earth's so big. Yeah, got that bit. So what we actually do on those many acres of land is measure it flat, correct?
Correct. Because every mile.
Stop. I'm leading, mate. I'm leading you. Mate, I'm leading you. Not the other way around.
Okay, go for it, baby.
Yeah, no worries. I just need to shut your bleeding mouth while I talk. Thank you. Yeah. So, in terms of the actual measurements that we're actually dealing with when we do stuff practically, according to you, we measure Earth flat. There is, obviously, a whole barrage of caveats and excuses for why we're not measuring it ball-shaped, but in terms of the facts of the matter, we measure and build on Earth flat. Correct?
Depending on the case. Yeah.
No, not depending, mate. That is how it's done. Why would you be so weaselly as to not concede your own example? These are your examples I'm parroting back to you. Do you not like your own example now? I've highlighted the fact that Earth's being measured and built on flat, as per your example that you gave 3 minutes ago. Would you prefer that your example you gave 3 minutes ago did not have Earth being measured flat? Because it is. Do you not like it now? I've reiterated the flat measuring bit that you used in your example.
No, I'm not living up to your reality, mate. You missed out on one.
It was your example of your reality and it being measured flat by your example with a caveat of excuses of how ball-shaped it wasn't. That was your example, and you're telling me I'm denying reality? That seems kind of like projection, given that it's not my example, it's yours.
That's ironic.
You chuckle it up, sunshine. That's right, your example was how flat we measure things on Earth, wasn't it, son?
Oh, calm down, boy.
No, I'm not in any way uncalm when I smile broadly because you've given us an example of how Earth is measured flat. Your example, not my fantasy reality. Your example heard by about 100 people in a live audience. Now, I appreciate that while I'm pointing out your example of Earth being measured flat, you've chanted through every last word of it. I've got a solution for that so my live audience can hear me pointing out your flat Earth measurement you appeal to. Your last response was to say it was my fantasy. This is your example. Did you forget your example of Earth being measured flat like you gave? I'll summarise the conclusion then, Stony Silence Man, because Earth is measured flat. And this fundamentalist religious zealot with a globe belief just told every single person in this audience that Earth will be measured and built on flat. That's his example followed by a load of excuses of how ball-shaped it wasn't being measured and why it wouldn't need to be measured ball-shaped when we measure it flat. So the measurements are flat, the reality is flat, but he's got some excuses for why it wouldn't need to be ball-shaped, it being so big and all. Well done. Yeah, Earth is measured flat, and you will also measure it flat like everybody does.
Guys, the Earth is flat.
Maybe if I get chanted through somebody who's drunk, this painful reality for globe believers will be what? No, I can overcome that with a little button on my desk. Dickhead. Earth's measured flat. Your globe-believing brother-in-arms just told us that. Did you not hear him? Drunk man. Did you not hear your globe believer tell us how flat it was measured? He made it explicitly clear Earth was being measured flat by this globe believer's example when building things. It craps all over his idea that you'd build a bridge and not build it flat because you'd do acres and acres of land flat, Earth so biggy, as an excuse for when we build on Earth flat, which we do. We measure Earth flat, we build on Earth flat, we navigate Earth flat, Earth's flat. You can extrapolate those flat measurements into ball belief. You don't have to like it. You can tell me to calm down, but that's your reality that you appeal to. 3.
Okay.
It is okay. Earth's flat. Welcome to flat Earth. Your dumbfounded silence speaks volumes.
No, well, you
Earth's
muted me most
measured-
of the time, so.
Earth's measured globical.
Sorry, can you get rid of the guy in pain? Can you just mute him, one of the server operators? He's obviously in a lot of pain.
Yeah, he's gone.
So
Thank you.
just to rebattle
It
the
can't
original
be-
argument, right? So I was saying engineers, right? They typically use advanced mathematical
Sorry,
models.
AJ, I don't want to hear a 11th rendition of the rinse and repeat we've already responded to and he hasn't rebutted. He's just going to rinse and repeat the original
cool.
claim and I don't want to do it. I've done it 11 times. No, thank you, 3. No. That's why you've been server muted, in case you were wondering, because you're rinsing and repeating. So if you reassert the claim again, it's going to be the start of the process, so the audience thinks there's no resolve. I've resolved it and refuted it. Earth's measured flat for your inference that you're going to appeal to for the 11th time after ignoring my rebuttals and chanting through them. So it's time for you to leave. You're an unreasonable man. Well, didn't he do well? Please share the show on Facebook and Twitter if you're in my live stream audience listening to us in this politics Discord server discussion with rinsing and repeating fundamentalist zealots who can't tolerate a rebuttal that requires their claim use a flat Earth. It
It's going
does.
to be painful, Nathan.
Yeah,
It's going to be painful
That
for
can't
him
be easy.
to explain how they're proving a globe and using flat Earth measurement descriptions. I mean, how bizarre.
Yeah, his original
Yeah,
appeal.
that can't be easy.
His original appeal was, look, when they're building this bridge, they build on it curvature. Oh, they build on curve. All right, do they? So when you go to the examples in your own words, it's hectares of land that's flat. Right, like when you build a bridge. Yeah, that was the example he was given back to him when you're measuring Earth flat. And the derivation of that flat measurement could be curvature below surface level in Earth curve maths. But they're not accounting for that when building bridges, and by his own confession, yeah, we build on massive areas of land flat. But that's only because Earth's so big and that's why we're not measuring any curve. You're not measuring any curve. Earth is measured flat. That's what he told us. You hearing this? Anybody who thinks it's a crap argument, it isn't. They need a flat Earth more than we do. It was in his example. You just have to be smart enough to spot it. And then you can point out how their example requires Earth to be measured flat, and they'll rumpus you 11 times in pain. And tell you you don't understand the claim that needs to come again for 12th time. No, it don't.
So I recently used Blender, right? And it's all flat. So can I assume that everything in this world is flat?
Do you live in Blender?
Currently, yes.
Well, then
I'm
if you're living
spending
in
lots of
Blender, then
hours in
definitely.
Blender.
But I'm pretty certain people can't live in computer programs. That seems absurd.
So What about outside of Blender? Is it also flat?
Well, then, if you're asking outside of Blender, what you do in Blender is kind of inconsequential, so it makes your kind of stupid question seem really stupid.
No, it's not stupid. No, it's like it's
We
genuine.
don't live in Blender, and outside of Blender, what happens in Blender is irrelevant. So how is it a good question?
So is it flat outside of Blender?
Yes, we measure Earth flat. That was just made clear 12 times.
But what if it's not flat?
What if we don't measure Earth flat? Well, we do.
Well,
Who's off mute?
you know, going back to
Yeah,
it
you're-
wasn't Galileo, but I believe it was it Epicurus? Didn't he measure you know, the distance from Earth to the moon?
Tell us
If
all
I'm
about
not
it.
mistaken.
And how do you do that? Yeah, tell us how you did that,
wasn't he a-
buddy.
You know, he waited for what was it? It wasn't the was it the solar eclipse? He measured the time that would take for the sun to block the moon. And he measured the exact
Right,
distance.
the angle of the sun. He measured the
Oh.
amount of time between the angle of the sun blocking the angle to the moon in a celestial sphere model, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Shut up and don't ever speak again. You don't know what you just said.
Wait, how did we get here?
Raging
Oh, John.
egos.
Yeah, John, hold up, time out. Because, you know, there's a...
Did you want to add something, Jedi?
No, I'm just still wondering. So it's
No,
flat
guys,
outside
sorry.
of Blender?
Big Daddy
Sorry,
Flirt,
Guy, you've said
Elijah,
it
he's
5
trying
times.
to,
Guy, we've heard it. Yeah? Did my first
Sorry,
response...
Elijah, your
sorry,
microphone's
just let
really
me just
quiet.
address it so I can conclude it. I addressed it for the first time. If your only objective is to rinse that crap that I took a giant steaming dump on immediately, then we've got no further use for you. So do you want to, ask for a 6th time so I can just ask you to be removed? Do you want to do it a 6th time? Go ahead, make my day.
Is the Earth flat outside of Blender?
Yes, we measure Earth flat. I already answered this, you dumbo. Do you have comprehension problems or
Yeah.
hearing issues?
I think
In
a
his
little
own
bit of both.
example, he used a flat plane to measure the angle to these objects, and he placed it in a model of a flat plane bisecting a sphere to get the angles that he's going to assert are blocking things. It's a flat Earth, man. You keep using a flat Earth and saying it's not flat. Could you stop doing that?
All globers seem to be just proving how Earth is measured flat with their own examples. How bizarre.
Right, one
Yeah,
day.
but they're not comprehending why it's measured and how it's measured flat.
Right, one deck's in charge for
they're
the
not
next 2
listening.
minutes while I get coffee.
Eli,
Yeah.
Oh, you're not in. I thought Eli was in here. He's in Discord, isn't
Yeah, sorry, I was saying Elijah for Eli. Yeah, sorry, big Daddy Flurf.
Yeah, I was trying to get in G. I'll try to get in G plus now. Y'all must have been like.
Who's speaking? They're very quiet.
Eli.
Oh, are you Big Daddy Flurf, Eli?
Yeah, I was saying
That's
I
better.
was trying to get in, but you guys are probably going toe to toe, so I'm gonna try to get back in G plus in a second. But I was just saying, John, be more charitable, man. You take it my approach, seeing things black and white. Do we really know this guy to say shut up? You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you just said. That's all. That's all I was saying.
And that's being more
Yeah,
charitable.
you gotta explain it to him.
Oh, you're saying we're being too charitable?
No, Nathan, I you've come a long way, but I don't even think that I can correct you just yet. But John and I switch between these personalities. When I'm him, he's me, and when I'm me, he's him. If that makes sense. When I'm being lenient and understanding, he's like, no, he knows what he said. He's a liar. And when I'm like, well, he's a liar, you're like, no, you don't know that. So all I'm just saying is, like, be charitable. The guy sounds not like the first guy. Is all I'll say.
You're literally him.
Just mildly trollish.
He's him.
I mean, he was
Pascal,
doing a
you've
good job
unmuted
of
yourself.
explaining how that example uses a flat Earth for elevation angles and angle measurements. So maybe we should have let him continue describing how the Earth is measured flat. It would have been quite interesting.
I don't think so. That was embarrassing for me. It was the most cringy thing I've ever heard in my life. Someone describing angle measurements from a flat plane in an attempt to describe there is no flat plane it's just stupid. I'm not going to let that go.
No, but I don't think we're breaking it down clear enough for them.
I'm not
We
gonna lie.
understand
At first, I
but
thought this
they
argument in
understand
this channel was very stupid, but now I'm actually taking it from a philosophical approach. It's actually a very smart concept idea.
Not an idea.
Challenging something that
Reality.
can't be challenged. Or maybe could be challenged. I don't know.
What are you
We're
challenging?
challenging what? Yeah, what are we
Whether
challenging?
the Earth
Your
is flat
description
or
of a flat
whether it's
Earth?
not. Actually, no. Actually, this channel is just 24/7 flat Earth. Like, no one even has to challenge you guys on flat Earth. Like, never mind.
No, it was your
Well,
description.
so
Your description of a flat plane is challenging your description of a flat plane.
No.
That's what you
Like,
just
you know,
did. Not us.
no, like, so if it's 24/7 flat Earth, here's my question: do we even have to debate? Because I could just take it as it's just 24/7 flat Earth. Like that's the truth. But
so you are a troll.
no.
What is
Well,
it
of course,
insinuating?
I think
So
the
you're
world.
not. Hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody.
You're trying to catch me. It's not working. Not working. But like,
I know what
see,
he's talking
but if you
about.
said
hold
debate
on, Neil.
flat Earth, then would there be a discussion?
So check this out. It's just a title. There are real people, not bots, here telling you what the conversation is about. So I'm gonna ask you again. Are you trolling?
What makes you think I'm a troll?
So you
Well,
can
if you read
understand
underneath,
that the title is the title, and the conversation that we're having is detailed enough for you to understand that your input is valuable and our input is valuable. So moving forward, here's the thing. We've exposed information to you that is true. It's not an opinion. It's not subjective. It's kind of what everyone goes off of for a basis of information. Your response can't be, well, okay, so it can't be debated, right? Like, that doesn't
No,
make
I'm
sense.
saying it's a general discussion.
Okay, so we're
well, if you
discussing the
was to read, I'm
information
sorry,
with.
he's misread the title anyway, because it actually states in the title, in the channel status, FEAMA. Or
Then
make
I
a claim to
absolutely have a
debate.
question.
So
Go
do
on,
you
what's
have
your
a
question?
claim or a question?
Where's your scientific proof that the Earth is flat? How
It's a
did you
category
come
error.
to this
Okay,
conclusion?
can I answer you?
Oh,
Can I answer you?
Yes.
yep.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
no.
it's a
I'd like
cate-
more information.
Or you could keep talking. You've asked for scientific evidence of flat Earth. That's a category error. Science deals with cause and effect. It deals with naturally occurring phenomena in the physical and natural world, and the cause thereof. That's science, physics. A shape or an aspect, flat, globe, they're not in the realm of scientific inquiry. So you're in a category error. That, to me, demonstrates that you don't understand what science is, because you're asking for geometric answers to scientific questions, which makes no sense. It's a category error. Hope that's clear.
No, I'm asking for the science.
I heard you. And then I handed your ass and
backing.
pointed out it's a category error because you asked about the science for flat. That's stupid. Flat's not a cause and effect phenomena, stupid man. Second time I've had to point it out because you've reiterated it. No,
what about the
Dumbo.
sun?
Category error.
What about the sun? Where is
Sorry,
that
do you want to
still
acknowledge your category error?
No.
Well, then get lost. Then you're unreasonable. Yeah? I've educated you, dumbass, on your stupid category error where you asked us for cause and effect relationships in terms of flatness. You know, you're going to find a cause and effect relationship in how flat something is. That's stupid. You are stupid. And now you're being told off by a flat earther because of your failure to acknowledge a category error that you've just asked me about. So before we can move on with you, not with you interrupting the top of me telling you off, as you've just done. No, I'm telling you off. My name's Nathan Oakley. I'm a flat earther. I talk to idiot globe believers like yourself who ask questions in category errors, like the science of flatness. Stupid idiots like you annoy me, especially when they yammer through the top of being told off. Now, you've been told off, and if you want to carry on in the conversation, you'll acknowledge your category error. Not be a weasel, not change the subject, not refuse. If you do any of the above, you'll be removed for being a dick, an intolerable globe-believing dick, in a category error that you're now going to acknowledge. You understand me?
Yes.
It's a category error. There's no science of flatness. Do you understand?
I think so.
Good. Consider yourself educated by me, Nathan Oakley, the flat earther, and you, the globe-believing ignoramus in this particular subject matter. That's science and geometry. You were ignorant, and that led you to ask a stupid question. I hope you feel satisfactorily berated.
Your accent makes it so much better. Thank you.
But can you stop mumbling?
There's
Just sit
that
down
whole
and shut
thing
up now.
When you're arguing,
I apologise, John. You go ahead.
well, do you remember a few years back, they were getting you to argue about the amount of Earth curve you measure, and it was kind of like they were laughing the whole time they were doing it. It's kind of reversed now. Once you see that surface level is a horizontal plane in those mathematics that they're trying to get a measurement of Earth curve from, you don't have to play that game anymore. They're using a flat Earth. They're measuring it flat. And they're trying to give you excuses for how not curved it is. And no, it's over. There's no debate.
Shout out to Chow Young Cat for gifting memberships. Really appreciate the support. 101 people watching. Woohoo! Please share the show. A very warm welcome to all of you who've just joined us. If you have done so, you probably joined because someone's shared the link with you. So please smash that share button. It's only a couple of links. And you put it on your favourite social media platform, Bebo or MySpace or whatever you're using. Smash that share button. Share.
I thought the other guy was talking about 24/7 flat Earth. Right there proves the globe because 24 hours in a day. I thought that's the road he was going down. But I'm getting bits and chops because I'm at a bad reception area.
It's always good that someone with chips and chops is getting us the summary together as well as you've done, Neil. Thank you for that.
Well, I'm in a better area now. But I thought that's the way he was leaning. Like, hello, 24 hours in a day.
Maybe he was here at the start of the show when we asked for any scientific evidence of gravity.
Yo, Nathan Oakley. So the proposition. Wait, Nathan, shut your mouth. I have a question. So the proposition that the Earth is flat, is that analytically true or synthetically true?
It's measured flat.
It's not a proposition, it's a measurement.
Yeah, so just to be clear, is it a proposition or not?
Just answered you. Measurement.
It's a measurement.
It's like a yes or no question, retard. I'm not going to let you dodge.
Sorry, do you want to just remove this guy who clearly just wants to abuse us? He's asked us a question in a category error. He's been given an answer outside of his category error, and he's insisting on it being a closed question. No, you're in a category error. Do you think that is worthy of you calling us retarded? I mean, we could, if you were tolerant of it, point out the category error that you've just had. In fact, I'm going to hand over to John because he was in there before I was.
Yeah, it's not a proposition or an assumption. It's a measurement. You're taking a conceptual unit and applying it to an aspect of reality. It's a measurement. It's just what it is. You don't have to like it,
just
which
to
I
be
can tell
clear
you
for
don't.
both of you, just to be clear for both of you brain dead retards, a proposition.
Sorry, remove him. I don't want him calling us brain dead retards on a live stream. He's only here to abuse us because he's in pain. Yeah, and I'm not going to tolerate it. We're not brain dead retards, my friend. The man demonstrated himself to be stupid with his stupid category error question. Now he wants to call us retarded. Yeah, you're so transparent. It's pathetic. Now go away.
Actually, Actually, he's retarded because John just said it's a measurement. Plain and simple.
No, he doesn't understand. He can't comprehend the response he's got because it wasn't what he was expecting. He's asked a closed question, so he thinks he's getting a yes or no to that closed question until we point out the category error and give him a different answer outside of his yes or no. Suddenly, it does not compute. You are stupid. Is his response. He can't cope with it. Comprehension isn't his strong suit.
Yeah, but when somebody says it's a measurement, something should click. No? I mean, it did for me.
It did click. That's why he got so angry.
Well, you're on a building site and someone says,
He didn't like it.
how long is that bit of wood? Someone runs a tape measure down it. Goes 3.5 foot. Is it exact? Yeah, exactly 3.5 foot. Is that a conceptual claim? No, run a frigging tape measure down it.
I was thinking the same thing, Nathan. I was trying to figure out a way how I could put it in with, like, when I measure floors, if the foreman tells me to go and measure it, but that was perfect how you did it. Yeah, you meatball, it's measured.
Is that inductive measurement? What are you babbling about? Just write it down on your scrap of paper and bugger off down the hardware store.
If I asked my foreman if that was inductive, I would have got canned. Like, forget it. I might have been tied up and whipped.
Sure
Must be a begging the question measurement.
A what? Say that again.
It must be a begging the question measurement.
I'm going to use that. I'm stealing it.
I've got to be honest, right? The politics server standards have got, in terms of the opponents on the ball side, that is, not the moderation and general running of the server, which is exceptional, has gone down and down and down, hasn't it? Is this it? This is the quality of ball-believing defenders? Wow.
Yeah,
The quality has gone down over recent weeks. Sorry, Neil, I was just saying the quality has gone down over recent weeks. I will admit that, that's for sure.
Who's that, Jedi?
Yes, my friend, it is I. How are you keeping well?
My YouTube dad, who was the one who fathered me into this arena. How are you?
Yeah, doing well, mate, doing well. Just as we got a little bit of a moment of break, there's a few people in the chat. If you want to join in the conversation, guys, please unmute yourselves and you can put some questions to the FED panel. So if you've got any questions, thoughts, feelings upon the subject, then please unmute yourself.
Or don't. I mean, it's entirely up to you. There was a time when we first started coming in this particular server where we were told that it won't be long, week or two, and this entire server will be overrun with globe believers only. Flat earthers will have their noses pushed out. What with all the globe proof that's going to be presented in this server. This is what we get today. 115 people watching. This is the state of the real flat earth debate.
It's over. There is no debate to be had anymore. If there ever was.
Was there ever a debate? That's what I was just asking. We just didn't pick up on it. But they were using flat the whole time.
If you measure the Earth flat with an angle, therefore really big ball. That's what seems to be coming up.
Well, not even that. The last guy was like, we measure Earth flat, but I mean, that's only because it's so big, and that's why we don't measure it ball-shaped.
So why I think it's ball shaped in the first place?
Yeah, it's a horizontal globe. What's over you?
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Fair enough.
No, it does not.
I was joking.
I'm not telling you off. One deck gets a certain amount of artistic license when he's making poetry, but flat globe. No, these oxymorons just I can't let them slide. They're great on me.
So you're going to tell me that the globe is not measured flat? Is that what you're telling me?
No, there is no globe. You can infer the globe from measurements of a flat Earth. Yes.
Nathan, what do you mean there is no globe? I'll take you to classrooms all over the world, and you'll see globes everywhere.
Nathan, I just posted something in the chat. I want to get your opinion on it.
Okay. Well, someone's digging that out and putting it in Master B. Shout out to Jason Dean. He says, all the smart globetards became flat earthers. Right. Thank you for the super chat. Can one of the mods stick whatever's just been shared with me in Master B? Is that a possibility? What was it? While that's being sorted, do you want to tell us what it is?
Did you see what I post, Nathan?
No, unfortunately, no. I'm just waiting for someone to share it with me locally. What is it? Alrighty then.
Could you give us a description of that which you have posted that doesn't use a flat Earth?
Or anybody else? Like I say, we've got maybe another hour and a half or so here. Answer questions about the nature of Earth. Point you in the direction of Earth being measured flat, that sort of thing.
Globe Shalaka, I noticed you unmuted yourself or you've been on server muted. You keep flashing, mate. You trying to speak or is that background noise? If not, I'll remute you. Move on to someone else. There's lots of people in the chat at the moment making claims and so on. If those guys want to speak up, that would be awesome right about now instead of just hanging around and chat skanking. But Globe Shalaka, do you want to jump in? Background noise? No problem.
Pardon me, before you do, read there's something posted in Master B that I think was posted in the Discord, Nathan.
This Earth experiment, yeah? Is that what he's referring to?
Look at step one and look at step one and try not to laugh.
On my screen, it's a little bit too small to read. I'll bring it up for the
Relatively
audience.
flat. Was it say relatively flat? That yeah.
Find a location relatively flat, open field with clear line if sight of 1,200 feet. Clear line if sight? 1,200 feet.
It's probably line of sight. Put an I instead of an O.
Find a flat, open field.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I guess we're done.
Globe proof again.
Yeah, they need a flat plane more than we do. Is that what the guy from Discord wanted us to look at?
Yeah. Not like presupposing the shape of the Earth. Just running this experiment. What do you think about like the control and the procedure? Do you want to add anything to it? Old dude is another
Step
guy
one.
in here. He actually likes the idea. He thinks it's a really good experiment.
Step one, find a flat, open field. Is that really your step one?
Yeah, like a relatively flat open field. This way I can set the 2 points at the same elevation.
Relatively to what? Relatively to what? Flat. Come on, dude.
Like, because nothing's perfectly
first
flat.
step includes.
Like, nothing's perfectly flat.
The point John's making is the first step is find somewhere flat and find out how flat it is relative to our flat as a reference we have for flatness. Step one, measure Earth flat. That's the first step in this process.
What?
Step 1, measure Earth flat. It says relatively. It says relatively. Yeah?
Yeah, find a relatively flat field. Like, what don't you understand?
Yeah. Relative to what? How could it be relative to something? What's it relative to?
To a slope.
No.
I'm not going to find a...
No, you don't define flatness relative to a slope. How flat it is how referenceable to level it is, isn't it? Go on, John, you take over.
Yeah, find a nice level flat area. That's what you're asking us to do. Not relatively flat. You're looking for a nice level flat area, aren't you? Just say it. It's okay. Everybody's got a flat Earth knowledge that they just don't want to accept.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not. I've been in here. I talked to Oldu for a while. I'm like throwing out all the stuff that like I can't prove myself. I'm not like trusting anyone anymore.
Right. So step 1, measure Earth flat.
I want to know what you think of this experiment.
Let me go. Well, that's it. There's nothing else to assess really. Once it's step 1, measure Earth flat. I mean, we've been saying this for a good few months now. That's what they need. They need a flat Earth more than we do.
I mean, I think the heading's got problems itself. Earth experiments.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what that means.
We brushed past that. Shout out to Price of Adam.
What do you mean?
For the super chat. Just 1 sec. On Earth, we measure from level as only flat. Yeah. Thanks for the super chat.
So you don't like the experiment? What's your problem with it?
We measured Earth flat as step 1.
Experiment?
Your step 1, your step 1 kind of invalidates the rest of your steps. Why are you not getting that?
Because it doesn't really make sense. I'm not presupposing anything.
No, you're measuring in step 1
neither
a flat
are we.
Earth.
We're measuring
Sorry,
it.
I'm stepping all over you, John. I've just told you to take over. I'm really sorry. Go ahead.
Right, no presupposition necessary, just a measurement, just of the flat Earth you're standing on. You're right. You didn't presuppose anything at that point. You just measured Earth flat. You're correct.
Did you read the rest of the steps? Do you understand what the point of the experiment is?
Do you understand step 1?
First of all, don't let him get away with the experiment nonsense. It's not an experiment. Come on.
Right, One Deck, you there? Can you take that?
Well, I'm under the impression that an experiment is, first of all, you'd have to be observing a natural phenomena, and come up with a hypothesis for this natural phenomena, and then carry out some experimental, works to gauge a knowledge of the cause and effect of this phenomena. So I'm just wondering what the Earth phenomena was that you've observed in the first place.
What's the phenomena is the question.
I'm just observing the way if you point a laser level at level, like horizontal from level, perpendicular from level, if it'll hit the same target height that it is.
Okay, over to you, John.
So,
he's lining them up. You knock them down. Thank you for that. I got you. We heard. You're observing from level. We got it. Go ahead, John.
So they will shoot 4 different control points of equal distance using the 4 different settings in the job, and then 4 more at 1,200 feet, and then you have a target that's set at the same height of the instrument, and you set it level, and you aim the laser to see if it's hitting the target at the same center point.
Why? You already proved it.
Hold on, Neil. John, you there? Maybe not. Well, while we're waiting for John, right, there's quite a few things in this that need a flat Earth. For instance, you've got heights in there, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, those are heights off surface level, sea level. You need a flat Earth to describe these heights, the elevations.
No. I'm not using the geoid sea level. I'm just using an assumed coordinates for the first point.
Yeah, coordinates. That's flat Earth also.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm doing assumed coordinates. One, like 4 different jobs. One that accounts for curve correcture and refraction according to the globe Earth. One without the curve correcture but the refraction. One without both, and then one with the refraction but without the curve correcture. So you had the 4 different settings, 4 different points, both with the instrument reading 600 feet apart for the first set, and then all 4 reading 1,200 feet with the second set, and all at the same recorded elevation based off of the total station. And then, again, setting up on those points, aiming the laser with each of those job settings at the target height that matches the instrument height.
Yeah, those heights are off a flat Earth.
It's not assuming flat or geoid.
No, I'm
It's
stating
not
a fact.
assuming
Stop.
one way or another.
I'm stating a fact.
It's assumed coordinates.
Stop. The heights are off a flat Earth. That's a fact, not a questionable, disputable, contestable, debatable subject matter. That's a fact. It's their height above sea level. That's what those heights are. Second time.
Right. This is using plane
Right.
surveying,
Stop.
local
Stop.
coordinates.
Within the system that you're using, there are several flat Earth prerequisites, one of which is height. So, there is no height from globe level. They're all heights from flat Earth. That's sea level. Level, not curving, not globe level, not height from curve. Height from flat Earth. End of my argument. That's it. It's a prerequisite in this argument that Earth is measured flat. Secondly, what I get chanted through, because of course it's going to trigger lots of fundies when his annihilation comes his way. Part 1 on screen is measure Earth flat. That's step 1 in this pseudoscience nonsense. So step 1, measure Earth flat, and then within the contents of the quasi-experiment, it's detailing flat Earth prerequisites like elevations from sea level. There's lots of flat Earth prerequisites in it, so you're not going to prove anything other than a flat Earth, because they're very much riddled, including the very first step.
So what do you want me to do to improve the experiment? What would you like
It's not an experiment.
So it's not?
No. That was explained to you by
Wait, I
one
have a
like
question,
4.5 minutes ago.
So what would you like me to do to make it an experiment?
Good question. Good question. What would I like you to do? Join me on Patreon, hit my super chat, support me financially.
No,
I've got a mortgage to pay. You know, I mean, basically, this is a job. This is what I do for a living. You know, when people come along and ask me about what I think about their category errors, when they ask me about experiments that aren't experiments, and we point out that step 1 of their quasi-pseudoscience is actually measure a flat Earth, and that heights within the quasi-experiment are off a flat Earth. I mean, when I point those things out, I'm going to get chanted through, like now. You're asking me what you could do for me. What do I want? What do I want? Money. I'm poor, really poor, and irritated because dicks like you chant through me like you're doing now. Dickheads, you, that is, because you won't shut up. I'm telling you what you want to know. You asked me what I want. Now I'm telling you, I want money. Give me money. That's all I want. I don't care how you feel about this. What you want to do is yammer through every single word I say. It's what you've been doing for the last 30 seconds, by the way. 30 seconds straight, you've done nothing but talk through me, and you're still doing it right now. You cannot shut up. You are triggered, Fundy Zealot.
No, I'm not.
Please don't chant through me.
I'm not.
In answer to your question, you haven't listened once. Told you, you can give me money. There you go. There's your answer. It's what I want.
The question I asked you.
What do you want? Money.
What would make this experiment?
It won't be. It's never going to be an experiment. Experiment is a validation of cause and effect reasoning based on observed natural phenomena. You don't understand that, so you keep asking the same question.
That's a shame. The other guy in here, old dude, really liked the experiment.
Now you can get lost. You just called one of my panel old dude. I've just pointed out it's not an experiment. You think it's your opportunity to pick up the reins with a different panel member? No, you just had your bum smacked. Your stupidity highlighted for a live audience of over 100 people. It's not your opportunity to ask someone else to pick up the reins, Dumbo. No, it's not an experiment. You're wasting our time because of your ignorance of what science is. Now I'm having to demean you. If you don't keep interrupting me. Eventually you'll get told off. It won't be a demeaning tone. It'll be me
How dare you,
shouting at
Darth?
you for your arrogance. You're now chanting through me. You've done it for now about a minute and a half straight. You haven't shut up.
The sad thing is, he still thinks he has something, and that's really troubling.
How dare
I'm
you
not
be
saying.
a
What
kid
do you
and then
mean?
call someone an old man, dude? That's just so
I
disrespectful,
didn't
bro.
call
You should
someone. I
check
didn't
yourself.
call someone an old man. No. There's a guy in here whose username is old dude. That's who I was talking about. I'm not calling anyone old. What?
Well, he doesn't know what
Nathan
science
Oakley
is
is
either
calling
then.
me old. That doesn't make sense.
If he entertained that, he doesn't know what science is either. Nathan just explained it to you.
No, he didn't.
Comprehend it.
Yeah, it
Yes,
did.
he
He
did.
did not explain what
Well,
science was
if
to
you
you.
could shut your... Neil,
One
hold
that
on.
did, now
Neil,
Nathan
stop a
did.
sec. Right. Ideally, when I go through this explanation again, you won't yammer through the top of me. And I'm going to appeal to the mods before I start, because I've done it twice or 3 times already. Right? If he just yammers through the top of this explanation, mods, can we just end this conversation? It's getting a bit tedious. So, science is the assertion of cause and effect reasoning based on a hypothesis. A hypothesis establishes your presumed cause of a natural phenomena. That is to say, you observe something happening in nature, phenomena, assume the cause of it. That's a hypothesis, otherwise known as scientific prediction. Then you vary your presumed cause to see if it induces the effect you observed in nature. That's the scientific method, otherwise known as physics. You're asking me if this, which you call an experiment, what you can do to better it as an experiment. Well, to explain, for it to be an experiment, the first step isn't measure Earth flat, as is the case in this. The first step of an actual experiment would be to observe natural phenomena, something occurring. So if you can formulate an actual hypothesis after observing something occurring in nature, you're on the right steps. This isn't that. Step 1 is not measure Earth flat in a real, scientifically valid hypothesis that you can go on to actualize. That's an experiment. This isn't.
So experiments can only be with naturally occurred phenomena. So that's the only way that it would be an experiment.
Correct. Yes. Step 1 of an experiment. Not step 1 of an experiment either. It's step 1 of the scientific method. One of those steps is experiment. It comes after observing phenomena. That's step 1.
In
Okay,
nature.
would observing the way light travels be observing a natural phenomena?
Yeah, you can study that and say, I will now assume the cause of how light travels. Yes.
Okay, so I'm not assuming the cause.
That's what science is. Assuming the cause and
I'm just,
varying it.
the natural phenomena
Okay,
that
so,
I'm studying here.
Okay, just stop you there. So you're not assuming the cause, right? So you're not doing science. So this isn't an experiment. You're clear? We done?
You have to assume the cause to verify it, if it is the cause. What are you talking about?
Is that impossible for multiple causes to lead to an effect?
No, it's called an independent variable. It's a sole independent thing that you will vary and manipulate to induce the effect. You do one on its own at a time. Vary it, see if it causes it. If it doesn't, you prove something called a null, which is your zero difference result. It's the antithesis of your prediction. You vary.
Yeah, so you have to come.
Still explaining it to you. Still explaining it to you. Yeah, I'm still explaining it. You could ask questions in the middle of the explanation. It just makes you seem stupid, though. I'm still explaining it. The null is the antithesis of your original prediction. That's supposition of cause, independent variable, one thing that you will vary, and the effect that you're trying to induce. The null is, if I vary that which I assume causes the effect, it will not induce the effect. That's called a null hypothesis, and it runs alongside your prediction, called a scientific prediction, otherwise known as hypothesis. When you actualize a hypothesis, that is an experiment.
So if there's multiple causes that lead to an effect, you would need to have multiple controls.
No. If you've got something that's
No.
complex in nature, you isolate independent variables. No, they're independent. You have one at a time to try and induce an effect you observed. If you've got something more complex than a single observed phenomena, for example, plant growth, you have to isolate individual phenomena that you want to study and isolate individual causal relationships so you can build an understanding through science of how something behaves. That's called a theory. So you assume the cause of an effect you've observed. In the most simplistic terms, it's not more than one variable, only ever one. Once you've established one cause and effect relationship through validation of experimentation, you can then, and only then, build theory upon that validation.
Why wouldn't you try to control for multiple variables at once?
You have controls. You hold everything else that isn't your independent variable constant. They're called control variables.
No, I'm saying
He's confusing
saying,
the
like-
experiment with the hypothesis, is all he's doing right now.
No, I'm not.
He's confusing the experiment with the hypothesis.
If you know there's multiple variables, wouldn't you have to control for multiple variables at the same time?
Yes, I just said that. You control
Not in your
everything.
hypothesis.
Well, that's what I said, and it seemed like you disagreed with me for some reason. I was confused.
Not in your hypothesis. That would be in your experiment that you would control variables.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I wasn't saying it was in the hypothesis.
Okay. Then what is your
So
question?
you do try to control for multiple variables at once.
Before we move on, do you understand that in a hypothesis you've got an independent variable and a dependent variable and a null? Do you understand that so far?
I'm saying there could be multiple independent variables, multiple dependent variables.
No,
You try to isolate-
you're confusing the hypothesis and the experiment
Stop a
again.
second, John.
You're
Just stop a
doing
sec.
it
Just stop a
again.
sec. Just let me just lay it back to him, his own words. You think there can be multiple independent variables, correct? Do you hear how stupid
yes,
it sounds?
you can set it up that way.
Multiple
Yeah, you can set it
independent.
up.
You understand how these two things aren't congruent with one another, or not?
No.
You don't. You don't see how independent means on its own, alone. You don't understand the meaning of words. It's independent. I'm leading you, sunshine, not the other way round. Yes, you think there can be yes, shut up. You think, shut up, or ask the mods to remove you. You're a dick. I'm talking, correcting you, dumbass. You think there can be multiple independent. That means on its own variables. No, it's an independent, meaning on its own, variable, meaning one of it. Not multiple. You don't understand this stuff. I know you don't understand this stuff because I've got what you think is an experiment on screen for my audience, and it isn't anything like what we're discussing. There is no independent and dependent variable in this hunk of crap I'm looking at now with the word experiment above it. This is the ramblings of a deluded idiot who doesn't know what science is and doesn't know the meaning of the word experiment. It's idiocy. Is this yours, son? What I've got for this Earth experiment? Is this yours? It's stupid. It shows me how thick you are. Are we clear? I'm telling you off for your stupidity. This isn't an experiment. And no, just to conclude our last little tete-a-tete, there isn't lots and lots of independent variables. That's very stupid. Like a married bachelor being a little bit pregnant. No, mate. Independent means on its own, one of them. And there won't be lots of them because this crap on screen needs to be fudged into a method you've not adhered to. It's just pseudoscience. And if you want to carry on sticking next to it, I'll call you a fraudster. Because it's not science, it's not an experiment. And if you keep pretending it is, I'll call you a fraud. Because it's tantamount to that. It's not science, son. It's not an experiment. Hope that's clear.
He's confusing the control variable in an experiment for independent variables in the hypothesis and then asking us, can't you have multiple independent variables? No, you don't understand the method at a fundamental level if you're asking that.
Can we not have multiple Lone Rangers? Like plural? Lone Rangers, right? What's wrong with that? Bloody idiots that we have to deal with. It's so frustrating, and yet he's chanting through me and correcting me like I don't understand this stuff. The bloody arrogance is off the scale. No, son, you're very stupid. Why have you wasted our time with this crap is my question to you. Why have you wasted our time with this childish understanding of science? It's pathetic. Why would you waste our time with this? Are you dumb?
He's left the conversation.
Of course he has, because he's being berated by a flat earther for his idiocy. Can't tolerate it. He needs to be telling us we're stupid.
I think he was a flat earther. That's the sad thing.
Really? No way.
Yeah.
Wait, he's a flat earther who measured the earth flat and then wanted to question the measurement that he just took by formulating a pseudoscientific experiment.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said why. Why would you be doing this? You've already proven it flat.
Well, whatever. Surely a LARPer at best.
I guess if you accept science as whatever the people in white coats on TV says, measurement isn't good enough, I guess. I don't know.
No, it's when you have a belief. See, you have a belief, so you're going to set up these things to try and convince yourself that Earth is flat, because you really don't know it's flat yet.
To Price of Adam, who says, from flat as flat, from go. Every time. Thank you for the super chat.
Well, yeah, you have to start with it being flat. That's just how the world presents itself. Then you can measure it that way. At which point, I don't know why you would try to argue past that. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he's setting up his level lights. He had to level them all, right?
Yeah. We're coming into the final quarter of the live stream on Politics server. So if you did want to join this server, which is a very good server, it's not necessarily indicative of how it typically is with us here. But still, hopefully one of the live stream mods will drop a link to the Politics Discord server so you can join the fun in that server. But we're going to be doing this for maybe another half an hour. If you did want to join, do so now with that link. Or if you're in the server now and you want to ask a question, and this is your 10-minute mark that you've been waiting patiently to get a nice polite question in, feel free. This is your chance. Like I say, we'll round out in about half an hour's time and then move to an after show.
I'm going to blame QE for this, but that's what I'm going to do. When he give that experimental result of water boils at sea level example that science has proven, like I'm going to blame him because he didn't give the hypothesis. He reported the experimental results, which are factual, and people confuse that with the hypothesis.
Okay, Baldy. Fighting words.
Hi, I have a question.
Oh, how lovely. Go ahead. What's your name?
Link.
Luke? Go ahead.
So I'm curious, is it true that in the Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere, the moon can be viewed at different angles?
Is it true?
I'm just curious.
Is it true?
How that adds up, yeah.
Is it true in the Northern what now?
Hemisphere.
Hemisphere. We can see the moon at different angles.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to rephrase that? I can remove that terminology.
Wait, what? I haven't said anything yet. I'm just literally saying back what you've just told me in the last 20 seconds. What's going on?
Yeah, I understand, because before you mentioned the other person that presupposes a globe. So, for instance, I'm just curious. So, for instance, if you look at the moon in places like London or Japan or New York, it appears to be viewed from a certain angle, whereas like South Africa, Australia seems to be from a different angle.
What about it?
Angle, huh? You're going to appeal to the elevation angle of the moon, huh?
No, it just looks upside down.
Do you
So
think that might be
the angle
because
at
of
which
your
you look at it.
orientation?
Hold on, John. I think Jedi's going to summarize. Translate for us, Jedi. Go ahead.
The gentleman's asking, obviously, why the moon appears to be upside down from different vantage points of the Earth. So I'm just going to ask the gentleman if that's got something to do with your orientation, as in you're on different sides of the moon. So from one side to the other, the moon may look in a different orientation. Does that answer your question?
You know you're in a flat Earth debate server, though, right, Luke?
Yeah.
Does it have some relevance to that? Because you've just proved a flat Earth with your description. So how high with respect to the horizon is its elevation above the horizon? Well, elevation is a description that requires a flat Earth to describe it. You also described hemispheres. Well, hemispheres are derived in the celestial sphere by way of a latitude grid system measurement that comes from a flat plane also. Just for everyone else in the server, if you're not talking and you're not Luke, please can you pop yourself on mute? But hemispheres is a flat Earth requirement also in terms of how that's acquired. Yeah? Were you aware of that?
That's probably something I'll look into.
Okay. Latitude. If you look at latitude, it's an angle measurement with respect to a flat baseline. So elevation angle measurements specifically. An elevation is a line between you and the object in the sky, like a star or the sun or the moon, and the horizontal plane that you're standing on, because it's an angle. Yeah? One line along the ground, that's flat, and one line up to the star. You with me? I'm leading you somewhere.
Sorry, I guess I'm not knowledgeable enough. I was just
leading
curious
you.
as
You just need to nod along. You just have to comprehend the words.
Yeah, okay. I'm listening.
An elevation angle is a measurement between you and an imaginary line up to a star, the sun, the moon. That's one line for this angle. The other line is the horizontal plane you are standing on when measuring this angle. One line along the ground, one line up to the moon in your example, right? That's an elevation angle measurement. I'm just leading you to say, yes, I understand, so I can move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so latitude is that type of measurement, elevation angle, to Polaris. So you start at Polaris, and if you were lying on your back, it would be directly above you. And as you back away from it, it will drop towards the horizon 1 degree. So that's a line along the ground and up to Polaris, dropping or receding towards the horizon at a rate of 1 degree for every 60 nautical miles. So again, an angle along a flat Earth is what gives us this system called latitude. Yeah? Now, with that system in place, Polaris-centric, you can map out the angles to all of the stars, and that's called the celestial sphere, and it has two, a north pole-centric and a quasi-south pole-centric flat plane system with angle measurements to all of the stars. And that system's called the celestial sphere, measured off a flat Earth. That's it.
Mm-hmm. So there are two different sort of spheres measured from different angles for the celestial. Sorry.
Not exactly. So if you were to imagine you standing beneath a star, in other words, there's a star directly above your head, and we're going to freeze time for this example, right? Now imagine that around you is a giant protractor, and as you point through all the angles, you point straight up, it's 90, yeah? You point out towards the horizon, it's 180 or 0, and everything in between. Those are the angles. Well, the curve of the protractor is a representation of the points that you can point at. But in order to have that protractor-based representation with you standing inside it, you must have a flat sky parallel with a flat ground. And then the protractor view that you get, yeah, is like a hemispherical view of the stars when measuring them flat. That hemispherical view, North Pole centric in latitude systems that we use for mapping on Earth, that would be the view of the celestial sphere, measured flat, represented as you inside a protractor. Do you understand?
So yeah, so if you were going to compare the angles, you would need a flat plane, to my understanding, right? Like,
no, we do use a flat plane to measure these angles that give us this system called latitude.
right?
Yes, Earth is flat.
Okay, I follow.
That's it. Earth is flat.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like, when it comes to, like, so for instance, like different locations, and the moon. So if you go somewhere that, like, I suppose people who believe the Earth is round would say is like northern, right? If you go to somewhere like northern, the moon appears to you see it in a different orientation.
We heard this the
than if you
first
were to
time.
go, like,
Yeah, we got this the first time. Is this like a brain freeze where you feel that you need to repeat that which we've already covered? We already covered this. Jedi explained to you, right? Let's say you take a paper plate and draw a smiley face on it. You then stick it on your ceiling with a bit of blue tack. Yeah? As you walk from one side to the other side of the room, the smiley face will appear to turn the other way. Shock, horror, it's you turning around as you've passed it, moving from one side of the room to the other. The smiley face isn't upside down, it's just when you were looking at it from the left side of the room, you were seeing it from the smile side of the smiley face. And when you cross to the other side of the room, you're looking at it from the eyeball side of the smiley face. That's just you moving from one side to the other. And Jedi explained that already once. Why are you rinsing and repeating this?
no, thanks. The example you said actually, like, made it very, like, understandable for me. So, like, putting it simply kind of helped.
Yeah, but the last time we covered it, I'm now frustrated because the last time I asked, why are you asking this? This is a flat Earth Discord server. What's this got to do with anything to do with how we've got Earth being measured and navigated and built on and all the rest of the things? This has no relevance. I don't know why you asked. Who cares what the moon does in that regard? Does it have any relevance?
But to describe the different locations, you need a flat plane to describe those different locations to view this moon from. So either way, you're assuming Earth's flat before you even ask the question.
Full game.
All right. Can you elaborate, Nathan, please? Can you elaborate on what do you say, latitude? Not latitude. Like the term you just explained. What was
What latitude is? It's an angle measurement to
No.
Polaris.
Yeah.
It's an elevation
Can
angle
you just go
measurement to.
quickly over that?
It's an elevation angle measurement to Polaris. That's it. That's all it is.
Angle measurement.
An elevation angle measurement to Polaris. That's it. That's all latitude is.
From a horizontal level plane of reference.
Correct. That's what an elevation angle measurement is.
Not a curve.
Why isn't
Not a
anybody
curve.
picking up on?
Hold on, Neil. There's two people in the middle of a discussion with this.
Yeah, it's not a curve. It's a level plane that you're taking the angle from. That's the important part. Now, if you believe you live on a ball, then you don't have an angle.
Is that it, John Wick?
Yeah. I want to ask a question. Like I have a little MS Paint like demonstration. I don't know. Like, if you can correct me on this, I'll be glad. Right. So this is like my what I believe, like the curvature of the Earth to be, right? Like approximately, right? Like this side, this side. this approximate. It's not like it's not straight or anything, right? So if I'm say like here, right, and like a ship sails on sea, right? You guys claim that like okay. So what I'm trying to explain, I'm sorry, I'm gonna refocus. You guys tell me that this doesn't make sense. Like a ship sails here. I'm standing right here, and the ship sails, and at the end of the day, I'm going to see its head disappear, right, and its tail disappear after, right? Like, how does this not make sense?
Right,
Like,
number
can
one,
you?
when did I say anything of the sort? Did you hear me
No,
make a
no,
claim about
no,
this?
no. Sorry, I didn't hear you make a claim, but this is what I think the
Yeah,
most flat Earth
that's got a name. That's called a
thing.
straw man fallacy. So you could make your claim rather than telling me what I
Okay.
say doesn't make sense when I haven't said anything of the
Right.
sort. That's kind of
Okay,
irritating.
so I'm gonna
Just let me
rephrase.
stop you there, John Wick.
All right.
Stop.
Yeah.
That's step one of getting me irritated. Telling me what I'm saying when I'm not saying it. Okay, so let's just put a little bow around that and chuck it in the river immediately. Please don't do that again. No, what you could do is make some garbage claim about boats going over a physical hill you call Earth curve. Now, do you want to put your big boy pants on and actually lay out your claim rather than straw manning me with something I've not said? Can
No,
you do
okay,
that?
so I'm going to rephrase. Okay, I'm gonna rephrase my sentence. I think that this makes sense, right? I think that if I stand anywhere on Earth, right, near a sea, and a boat sails away, I think it makes complete sense that the Earth is curved, and thus this is why I see the head of the ship disappear first, and then the tail of the ship, right? Now, I want you, I would like you, sorry, to disprove this, or if not, we can just move on. If you don't want to disprove this, I'm just gonna take
No
it
problem.
as.
We have an argument
Right.
for it's 4 years old called the Black Swan. Your assertion that there is a physical sphere edge blocking boats and buildings comes from Earth curve geometry, otherwise known as Earth curve maths. If the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959, then every distance to that Earth curve you're claiming could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, as laid down in your Earth curve maths to give you that assertion. Distance to horizon in an image we call the Black Swan is beyond the geometric limitations of a sphere Earth hill getting in the way of boats and buildings at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Therefore, the Earth is not a sphere and the horizon is not Earth curve. It's called a modus tollens logical consistency argument. It undoes the argument that we have a hill getting in the way when we show it demonstrably isn't in the way and has physically moved itself behind objects it should be blocking. So, there is no Earth curve hill. We can debunk it. We did it in 2020.
May I ask him if he thinks the horizon is where surface level appears to meet the sky in his example? Is he saying that's surface level appearing to meet the sky? Just curious.
Can you say that again? Right.
In your example, is surface level appearing to meet the sky in your example of bottom-up obstruction?
Okay.
Is that a true statement?
I believe it to be. Yeah.
Yeah. There's all kinds of trouble coming your way if you believe that to be true.
We'll break that down in a second for you if you don't mind, John Wick. I've got a mortgage to pay. I don't want to put too fine a point on it. Thank you very much to Brian Bender. He says, Nate, can you give me an argument against the question of how are elevation angles taken south of the equator where Polaris can't be seen? Thanks. Yeah, all elevation angles, Brian, are taken off a flat plane. Elevation angle measurements, full stop, require a flat plane to be measured. And you measure elevation angle measurements to all of the stars in the south. The arbitrary system we have devised called north and south is just that. It's arbitrary. We've devised a minimum with Polaris to call north and everything beyond south. And then we take a position that isn't quite centric to the second system, south system, that's sigma octantis, and then claim an elevation angle measurement, if there was one to that, would give you the axis off a flat plane for a south system. Now you can sandwich those two flat plane systems together and call what wraps around both of them, the celestial sphere. In fact, that is the celestial sphere. But once you move past the equator, all stars get measured in exactly the same way. They're all measured with elevation angle measurements in the south. It's not that because the latitude system's been screwed with beyond the equator where you can't use Polaris anymore, doesn't alter how navigation functions in the south. It still uses elevation angles, and they require Earth as a flat plane to measure them. Hope that answers your question. Thank you for the super chat. To get back to John Wick, in terms of what you're asserting in Earth curve geometry with the assertion that Earth gets in the way as a hill for boats to fall over the edge of, your edge that boats fall over needs a flat plane to measure to make that inference. In the Earth curve mathematics, why are you talking?
No.
My question, why are you talking?
Jesus, man, calm down. Go on.
No, I won't calm down, you arrogant prick. I was in the middle of a sentence that troubled you, so you thought you'd open your stupid fat mouth while I was in the middle of that sentence. Now I'm telling you off.
Man.
Shut your mouth while I talk. Yeah, I'll educate you on the flat plane of reference in your Earth curve maths. Hopefully without interruption from a belligerent ignoramus who doesn't have the slightest clue what he's asking when he asks me about why boats disappear bottom first. Tries to straw man with things I haven't said. And then when he actually gets to the actual claim we do understand, it requires a surface level in the mathematics. Had you not interrupted and had my tone and blood pressure risen by your interruption and rudeness, I wouldn't have to take this tone with you, you stupid man. Next time, shut your mouth while I educate you, and I won't have to demean you in my tone. I'll just tell you with a polite tone, without the interruption from you, that you need a flat Earth surface level to claim you've got a point below surface level called Earth curve, the hill I debunked and was debunked in 2020 with the argument I gave you in logical consistency, modus tollens format, called the Black Swan. There is no Earth curve hill we can show. The hill isn't blocking oil rigs, it's behind them. Hills don't physically move. We debunked this in 2020. Meanwhile, the inference itself, the maths itself, has a surface level in it. That's a flat Earth being measured and referenced to give you an inference that there's a point below surface level called Earth curve debunked in 2020. Now you may respond, John Wick.
All right. Thank you for the added commentary. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to explain to you if the Earth was flat, right? And which you claim, if we need a curvature of the Earth, right? We need to, you said, have a flat, like a flat level, right? You said. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I said in your maths,
No,
that
we're not.
leads you to the assertion of
this
having
is
a hill
your
in the
claim.
way. The surface level.
I didn't
It's
correct
level.
me.
It's in your maths. That's what I said.
I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, this isn't our claim. This isn't our claim. That's where you're confusing yourself
So
now. It's your claim.
I'm gonna ask again.
The
What
surface
was
level
you
is
said?
obstructing.
Okay. But I have to ask so you can explain to me again. You claimed that in order to have a curvature of the Earth, right? We need to have a what was it? Can you just say
Surface
that
level in
first
your
phrase you said?
maths.
Couldn't hear you.
For
Surface.
your physical obstruction.
Right, let's just stop for
Okay,
a second,
so
John. Hold on. Right, one of us has got to take control, otherwise he can't hear us. Brian Blender's accidentally, or Bender, has accidentally super chatted the same thing twice. Really appreciate both times. Thank you. I thought so. Thanks for expanding. Really appreciate it. No problem. Thank you for the super chat, Brian. Right, do you want to do it or shall I, John?
No, you did.
You go ahead. It's your show. I apologize.
No. I only know this because of you.
No, I want to hear Nathan on this.
Okay, you've got a surface level in your maths, right? In Earth curve maths, there's a tangent to the ball dangling below it, and that tangent, the line, is called surface level. Now, to infer there's a point, the dingleberry dangling below it, below surface level, that's your Earth curve. Now, where that will be, mathematically speaking, is a derivation of eye level at altitude, measured off surface level, and the surface level. Yeah, that difference is where the maths extrapolates out a point below surface level called Earth curve. That's what you think is the horizon. It isn't, because you've got to measure Earth flat. It's right there in your maths. It's called surface level in order to make that inference. So, to conclude, Earth is measured flat for you to infer there is a Earth curve below surface level.
So okay, so you just said that in order to like measure for me that I have a curve, like I need to calculate it on the basis that the Earth's surface is flat, correct?
Correct. So if you look at Al-Biruni, Al-Biruni measures the surface level to get two triangles to derive height using trig. So he measures the height of the mountain and then goes up the mountain, and utilizing the eye level difference between him and the surface level, he can say the dip is actually a point below surface level that's now curving. That's the derivation of surface level measurement for height and differential from surface level and eye level for an Al-Biruni inference that the point he's now looking at, derived from the surface level he just measured to go up the mountain with, is actually below that surface level and called Earth curve. Yes, it's absolutely required that Earth will be measured flat for you to have a fundamentalist zealot belief in Earth curve. Correct.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna. There's a lot of terms. I have to like kind of have research that, right? I'm sorry if you excuse me, but is it fine that I kind of agree with what you said, but I have to research some things on that? Is that fine?
I mean, you can do whatever you like. There wasn't really much agree, disagree in what we discussed, though.
Right.
You know.
Then
Well, he's talking about whether he accepts it or not. I think that's a reasonable position. Go look at the Earth curve maths. You'll see it. It's clearly marked surface level every time, or eye level.
I see.
Always a
My
horizontal
bad.
plane. You don't
I
have to take our word
misunderstood.
for it.
My complete lack of empathy leads me to not really care what you do with this information. That is to say, you having to take it in, it wasn't of any concern, but John's just pointed that out to me. In terms of the discussion, it's not agree, disagree. In terms of what Earth is being measured as, it is flat.
All right, then for now I'll agree with you. All right, I agree with you. I know you don't care, so let's stop at that. All right. Okay, so I have a major topic which I would like you to debunk. All right. Can you? Or it's a stupid question. I know you're not gonna give me an answer, but I'm gonna go ahead anyways. Do you have a approximate measurement of the Earth? Any
Latitude.
measurement?
Well, you've got latitude. So you're...
No, but do you have like a full like measurement of the Earth? Like a surface calculation.
Yeah, I've got what you've got. We've got maps, right? The known territories that we expanded the known world out from, originally with a polar-centric system, that got expanded into what we now know as the Southern Territories, right? But as we expanded into those new worlds, we expanded by using flat Earth measurements and angles to stars to navigate out towards these new lands and then find our way back on a flat plane. Now, in terms of what I know about the measurements and expanse of Earth, I know what territories are on the map, or maps, and how we develop those maps by using the stars and flat Earth measurements to them. That's what I know. I know what you know if you look into maps.
Okay. Well, I guess you're kind of right on that. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you like a different question then. I'm just gonna pop this in here, right? I'm gonna remove all this. This is mumbo jumbo. I didn't actually mean anything by this. If anybody wants to make fun of that, whatever. right? So say this is my map, right? I think this is what Earth is, all right? Say me as a flat earther, I believe this, okay? This would seem reasonable in my eyes. I don't think we right? I don't think we explored anything beyond these lines, beyond this territory. Okay? So what I have a really simple question for you, right? If I want to take a flight, right, from Sydney to Chile, which is approximately from here, right? You can agree with me, right? This is Chile, approximately here. I want to take a flight to Sydney, Australia, just somewhere around here. I forgot what Sydney is, right? No, Crit, I'm not arguing with you, right? I'm arguing with Nathan. Nathan Oakley, 1980,
Right.
right? Not you, Crit.
Right.
So I want you to
Pardon me.
explain to me. I would like you. Okay, do you want to talk? Do you want to talk, Nathan Oakley?
I think it was my.
Well, yeah, I would like to point out that you're using latitude to figure out the distances between these 2 points, right? You are doing that, correct?
I'm using distance just to calculate things here. I'm just using distance.
And
Say
how are you
a
getting the
plane.
distance?
I'm getting the distance because this was calculated according to people who don't agree that the Earth is curved.
Not what he asked.
Irrelevant.
Okay,
No, hold on. Let's just address that. Stop a second. Sorry. Sorry.
No.
There are no curved distances. Distances are flat. So when you talk about miles, kilometers, centimeters, these are flat distances. Yeah? They're not curved. What are you babbling about? You've just made a baseless assertion that the distances that you've asserted come from some people who think the Earth's curved. Who gives a crap? Distances are flat. What are you babbling about?
Can there be distances on a basketball?
Nobody's asking some other white knight. Shout out to Chow Yun Cat.
Can there be distances on a basketball?
Shout out to Chow Yun Cat. Hopefully the mods will sort out the white knight interruptions. Shout out to Paula and her literal, historical, grammatical hermeneutic. Thank you, God, for her teachings and videos. Well, thank you, Chow Yun Cat, for the super chat. And yeah, big shout out to Paula.
Alright, so I'm gonna keep
what you're going to be doing.
No. What I'm gonna be doing is, please let me explain this, and I would put myself on mute so you can debunk my theory.
Just did. We just did. Both of us did. We just did. We just did. The distances. We've just covered this. You've just ignored it, and now you're saying no. If I just get to the end, what, and ignore the objection and rebuttal that you've had?
No, I object to your rebuttal.
Okay. Where'd you get curved distances? Where are the curved miles? Where'd you get them?
Right. I'm gonna explain to you, right? So if I want to take a flight from here to here.
Sorry, I didn't ask that, did I? I asked where you have made a baseless assertion that the distances come from curved people's belief. Okay, where's the source of curve miles? Give it me. Or relinquish your baseless assertion so we can move on with this crap that needs a latitude system for the distances. We'll then prove a flat Earth with your claim. Now, you aren't just going to spew your way past this baseless assertion we've just undone with distances that are flat. No, mate, they haven't come from curved sources like your baseless assertion that you think we're just going to toddle on by. No, mate, we addressed it. Can you acknowledge, this is the third attempt, that the distances are flat distances? If not, give me the source of their globular nature now.
Kind of putting me on the spot, Nathan.
What, to prove the crap you claimed? You made a baseless assertion, and when I ask you to back it, I'm putting you on the spot. Yeah, mate, it's called a debate. When you spew garbage nonsense, someone's going to say, can you prove that garbage nonsense about a spherical origin of miles? You can't, it's wrong, and now you're yammering through me. Yeah, is it painful that your stupid, ignorant garbage was pulled apart? Yeah, you were put on the spot. And did you come up trumps with standards of evidence that backed your crap? No, you didn't. It was crap. And I'm taking that crap to the cleaners, mate. Yeah, you were, past tense, put on the spot. You didn't come up shining at the end of it. You were shown to be a moron, an idiot who makes baseless assertions about the origin of distance measurements that require a flat Earth to assert them. So we've got lots of flat earth proofsies in this questioning line that you're taking us. That's not an invitation to segue back onto rinse and repeat the original claim. We're proving earth flat with aspects of the claim like distance. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Right, so welcome to Flat Earth.
Yeah. Was
Sorry,
that like
you see how suddenly your little straw man that you were building about distance travelled on aeroplanes when the distances are flat is kind of irrelevant and just seems like a bit of a little false dichotomy straw man that you needed to burn with little maps and models that you would ascribe to us as flat earthers and how they wouldn't work with flight times based on distances that could only be flat. Seems a bit crap now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Your crappy argument just fell flat on its arse, didn't it?
Yep, you're right.
Yeah. So I'll summarise. Given I won, the flat earther, the one who just annihilated your absolute garbage claim of distances somehow undoing a flat earth. No, they prove it. Regardless of your problems with the maps, there's thousands of them, yeah. Surprising when there's a entire Western world viewpoint that we live on a curved surface that couldn't possibly work on any map. That we'd have thousands of them, what with that massive deception and all. Is that my problem, is it? That we've got tens of thousands of maps and none of them accurately represent the world? Yet they all function with one unilateral grid system, latitude and longitude, that's measured flat. For it to have any semblance of working ever, we must have an origin that actually functions with the angles to the stars. Earth is measured flat. Yeah, there's a gaggle screw of nonsense maps with distortions, though, isn't there? That's not my fault, though. I would suggest that that's on the doorstep of the people lying to you about it being a globe when it isn't. Because all the maps are flat, aren't they? The thousands of them that some are claimed to be globe projections, yet still functionally operate with a grid system measured flat when they're flat maps. Yeah, those distortions have got nothing to do with me, mate. Why are you laying this on my doorstep? Meanwhile, Earth flat. For that map to work, ever.
And the distances will be calculated using longitude and 1 degree for 60 nautical miles.
Oh dear. Everything is flat.
I really really like to have a whole 1 minute and 30 seconds, like just 1 minute, 60 seconds, right? Put me on a clock here.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you a question in 60 seconds and I will mute myself, and if you give me any debunking, I will leave this server. All right, I will leave this channel.
Number one,
okay?
Stop swearing. Number two, if you use a logical fallacy in the next 1 minute and a half, I will stop you immediately. I'm not going to allow you to keep ranting. I will interrupt you. If you think that that little preamble is going to stop me interrupting if you use a fallacious standard, I will interrupt. So I don't think that's got you a right to bleat when I interrupt at the probably 10-second mark when you use a fallacy. We'll see how you get on, though. If you don't use fallacy, you've got as long as you like.
But so what you're saying is you have to what is it? You have to stand up to my standards or you get muted. What you're saying.
Do you know what a fallacy is?
Right? Yeah, fallacy, something that is false, like a claim that's false.
Yeah, as long as you don't do that, you'll have no problem. We clear?
But I would like to just say something, right? You can even give me.
I heard the first bleeding time. You want 1.5 minutes unimpeded? No. If you use fallacy, you'll definitely get interrupted. If you don't, you'll have as long as you like. On you go.
But Nathan, that's not fair. You barely give me any time to talk.
I don't give a crap. If you use a fallacy, I'll interrupt you. It's the third time I've told you the standards. If you don't accept them, oh, well, you can bleat and say that it's not fair. Oh, no.
Start a timer, Nathan. All right, I get it. Start a timer. All right. At 60 seconds going from now. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna get you in anyways. Fuck it. Somebody else, please take the helm and save me from this nightmare, please. Somebody.
Sorry, is that you throwing in the white towel? You holding up the white flag?
Yeah. No, because you're gonna mute me, Nathan. That's
I haven't done anything. I don't. Excuse me. Number one, I don't. Number one, I can't mute you. It's not my server. How dare you? I'm gonna mute you, am I? No, I'm not. I'll interrupt if you use fallacy. It's that simple. If you haven't got anything but fallacy, then obviously you need to throw in the towel.
No, but the thing is, if I keep talking and you interrupt me, somebody else is going to mute me because you're all connected. You're biased towards me. That's
All
not
right, this is
fair.
getting boring. John, can you
Yeah.
just make your point, please, dude?
Okay, so you're gonna promise me that I'm not going to get muted and I'm not
I've
gonna
given look
get
for the
voted.
audience's benefit. I've given this dickhead the reason and rhyme of what will happen 3 times.
All right, so you guys give me 30 seconds uninterrupted and have Nathan please not interrupt me, right? I think 30 seconds is not a lot of time.
Can you shut the fuck up and just make your point?
All right.
Please don't swear.
Please can you stop swearing?
Today.
John, time has started. Go.
All right. So if I want to take a flight from here to here, all right? It takes 12 hours and 30 seconds. If I want to take a flight from London to New York, which is somewhere along this fucking line, forgot where it is, right? The geography. I'm not that good at geography. Right? It takes around 7 hours and 30 seconds. 7 hours and 30 minutes, right? Can you explain to me how this makes sense? Please explain to me why I would take this route and not this route. Here to here. From Chile to Sydney. All right, please, for the love of Christ, debunk me. Why that
Can I
takes more
answer you
time
now?
or more less time? Yeah, you may. Go on.
All right, cool. Those lines you just described were lines of latitude and longitude, which are measured with respect to a flat plane. I don't care if you understand it.
Beautiful answer. I don't care if you understand.
What just happened?
He gave an
I think
example.
the flat earther forfeited.
No.
No, I didn't.
No, he
forfeit.
proved a flat Earth with the grid on the map he used.
With
Are
the
you not
grid on
keeping
the
up?
map I
Sorry,
used?
hello, the Dumbo that just said the flat Earther forfeited when he pointed out the grid that was measured flat.
Yeah.
Do you think that was forfeiting? No,
Yes.
that was rhetorical, Dumbo. No, he wasn't forfeiting. He was
Why are
annihilating
you
the notion of a
insulting?
globe. Do you need to chant through this? Was it just better when you just declared, as a rambling
I declare
buffoon,
victory.
that the forfeit came from a flat? No, it didn't, mate. That's wishful thinking.
Yeah,
Don't
it
be
was.
moronic. And don't chant through me correcting you. You know, you chanting through me correcting you is not going to change the outcome that just occurred. The flat earther ripped the globe earther a new asshole because he pointed out that the grid on the map he was
You are
asking
gay.
about. Do you think he's
Actually,
going to change the outcome chanting through me there, fundamentalist religious zealot? Eventually, I'll just have to mute my own Discord line for the audience to hear just how triggered this fundy can't tolerate the facts that there's a flat earth being measured for the grid he just appealed to. That's not throwing in the towel, dum-dum. That's us winning and pointing out how our flat earth's been measured. Only took 4 attempts, didn't it there, Dumbo? Did you want to tell me I'm throwing in the towel after that re-explanation of that you thought was us throwing in the towel? No, you're just very slow. We all clear? Dum-dum?
Did he think that was a victory? Did he think
He thought you were throwing in the towel, John. He thought that was you throwing in the towel when you pointed out the grid was flat.
No. All right. So I think, was it the guy through your mic? Nathan, I heard like there's a guy with like a deep voice. Is that through your mic?
Oh, you
Or
mean
am I hearing somebody else?
the guy on the other end of the mic who pointed out that the grid in your map was requirement of a flat Earth to measure it? That guy?
No. Yeah. Okay.
No, that was the guy. It was. Yeah, that was the guy. You mean no to it not being that guy, or no to you don't like the fact that there's a grid on it
Nathan, you're dragging on.
that requires a flat Earth be measured? Because it seems like you're chanting through my affirmation of the debate. The debate is that there's a grid on it that's measured flat.
Okay, well, I don't agree with it, and I'm going to disprove this now.
Sorry, it's a latitude-longitude grid. You don't have to like it or agree with it. It's a fact. That is the grid on that map, whether you like it or not. That's a fact. By the way, that's not us throwing in the towel, and him saying he doesn't like it or agree with it is not him winning. No, that's just him not being able to cope with the fact there's a flat Earth proof on his map in the form of that grid he doesn't like. You don't like the grid?
Where's the grid he's using?
Latitude and
where can I see this?
longitude.
Oh.
All right, so you're telling me this
Yeah,
doesn't make
latitude and
sense.
longitude are derived from angle measurements of a flat plane. You can't claim victory for a ball. You're using a flat plane. Sorry.
Well,
I wish you could dream up something better, but sorry, that's just not helping you.
all right, I'm gonna try and actually make a claim here, and if this for the second time, right, gets debunked, then I'm legitimately going to leave it.
Sorry, if
because
it's a
I'm
rinse and repeat,
completely.
if it's a rinse and repeat of flight times, I'm going to lose my temper with you.
If you
Maybe
use
you've had a
any
little
type of
brain freeze and
argument,
forgot what you've just
Nathan,
claimed already.
Nathan, you're already off your.
Maybe you get really close to your mic. No, mate. You just don't need to rinse and repeat that crap that we've just taken a big steaming pile of crap on. Please don't rinse and repeat it like we haven't addressed it. Yeah? I'm just
if you use
preempting,
any type of
presumably, what you
argument,
think you're going to do.
including if you use any type
Okay.
of argument, including altitude, it's going to prove both sides regardless. Because you
Wait,
use altitude
altitude?
in globe and planet. Yes.
No, altitude's off a flat plane. It's with respect to sea level, not sea
Yeah, but it's
curve.
going to also used in globe. It's going to prove both sides.
No,
There's
sea
no point
level
using
isn't
that.
curve. Jeff, did you not hear what I just said? Sea level, that's not curve. It's not your height. Altitude isn't your height above sea curve.
Yeah, but it's still.
Yeah, but hello. Yeah, but isn't going to wash, love. Yeah, but it's measured flat altitude. Not yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's still proving both sides, though.
No, it isn't. It's measured flat. It's not proving but it's from sea level, but that's sea curve. No, but it isn't. It's just proving it's flat because it's from sea level, love. Rinsing and repeating the same assertion that's wrong won't help you. You got anything else, or did you just need to say it a third time?
No, I just think you should stop being so rude.
Sorry, rude. Height above sea level isn't height above sea curve. I've responded to your crap claim and undone it. That's not me being rude. It's me undoing your crappy assertion that it makes sense for both. No, if it was making sense for a globe, it would be a height above sea curve. We don't have that, so it doesn't prove both. I hope that's clear. I'm not being rude. What I'm doing is annihilating your claim.
No, you are. You're being very aggressive.
Oh, maybe if I do it in a really high-pitched tone for this lady. No, my darling, you can't have a height above sea curve to prove that it works on a globe. I'm not being at all aggressive when I tell you it does not work on a global surface when it's your height above sea level. Level isn't curving. That was in no way aggressive.
A lot more people would take you seriously if you were actually being serious.
Nobody cares about what your opinion is of how people take me seriously after I've taken a dump on your claim. Your claim was wrong. People would take you seriously if you had a spine, my darling. Having a spine and admitting when you are wrong would mean people would take you seriously. I don't take you seriously because you have no spine. Can you concede that you were wrong and it won't work with both, given that it's not height above sea curve? Or will we simply assess my attitude after you lose? Pathetic. Can you have a spine?
I wasn't trying to win or lose.
Yeah, you were when you made your claim that it works on both. That was your attempt to win your claim that it worked on both. You failed, you didn't win, you lost to me, and now you're assessing my aggression level. No, I just won. I took your crap claim that you tried to win with. That would be to say that it works on both. Apart with you telling me about my attitude after I took a dump on your crap claim that failed. It failed when you tried to win with that crap claim that failed. You were trying to win, you didn't, you lost to me, and now you're assessing my aggression level. That's what losers do.
Right, but you're not taken serious unless you're aggressive, and if you speak too assertively, you're too aggressive. I don't think she's interested in anything you have to say. It doesn't matter how you say it. It's just something she's going to rely on to dismiss you with.
And that's sad that I heard that you have a kid. Holy fuck.
Please don't swear.
Start with the icon.
Oh,
Now,
holy
why
shit,
would you
sorry.
have to swear?
He's getting ready to attack my kids. Watch him.
No, no one's attacking your kids.
Why don't you go for
No, I
somebody's
think the kids could
sonhood?
be
Get him
somewhere
out
else.
of here.
Kind of weird.
I was having a really good debate with another guy that was in here, and I actually understood what he was saying because he was being less aggressive. This is the issue with a
I'm
lot
sure
of
you
people in
are.
this chat.
Was he pointing out that
Okay.
Earth is flat? No, he wasn't.
Nathan, what theory do you subscribe to? I'm super curious. Why are people lying about it being a globe? I've always wondered this.
Listen to this simpleton, Noni.
Why am I
carrying
people
on
lying
his
about it being a
But I don't
globe?
remember asking you. Why are you talking? What's up, Nathan?
What did you ask? Why are my people lying about it being a globe?
No. Why? Like, what is the grand theory? Why is it that people are convinced it's a globe? What's the accomplishment that's being?
That question's an appeal to motivation fallacy.
Well, then why do you think it's happening? I'm just asking you your opinion.
I don't care.
You don't care. So
No.
most
I mean,
of the population
I'm
believes
trying
in
to
a
answer
globe.
you.
And
I
you
mean,
have
maybe I can only have one word
Completely
to answer you with.
irrelevant.
Am I only
Bring it
allowed
up.
one word to answer your question?
You didn't act as if you
Well,
were
I said I don't
engaged.
care,
You
and
just
then
said you
went to
didn't
say
care,
something
and
else,
you
and now it
started-
seems I'm being
no, you
impeded
started
by
with
you,
saying
the
it
guy
was a
asking me
fallacy.
questions. It seems I'm not being allowed to answer more than one or two words.
Are you
I
gonna
don't
keep
care.
posturing,
After
or are you gonna
it seems that I'm never going to be allowed to tolerate. It's just you talking in this question and answer session, isn't it? Your question followed by your continual rumpusing of me. Now I'll just try out for a fourth time. You said, "Do I care?" You asked me a question about how something might be. You've also appealed to a fallacy in regards to motivation. Meanwhile, I just prove Earth is flat with measurements. How people like you deal with it after the fact is not my concern. Often people go to all sorts of crazy notions about why would they lie? That sort of fallacious logic that people like you reason with. I don't appeal to such fallacious reasoning about motivational fallacies when I can show how it's measured. It's irrelevant. You can worry about that all you like, son. It doesn't bother me. It's fallacious. Hope that's clear.
And I said, if you didn't notice, he was defend. It's like usually when people are muted, they'll defend. So, right.
Like what your point is that when I'm talking, people don't want to listen, and therefore, if they get shut up by the server operators, they'll stick their fingers in their ears also. So they won't tolerate anything other than them constantly interrupting me to the point where the server operators have got to mute them. And then they know that they're not succeeding in shutting me down with their rumpusing. That's fundamentalist zealot muting. Yeah? So they'll stick their fingers in their ears as well. Yeah, we know. These people are childish. If they can't chant through me, they'll put their fingers in their ears. Yeah, we know.
Right. Then I think the same logic applies to you, Ethan. Right? I think the same logic applies to you.
Who cares? I
and
just
the
pointed
server
out that I prove
moderators.
Earth's flat with measurements, but you're going to now appeal to the logic of my demeanour or behaviour. I prove Earth's measured flat. Your
No.
response is to assess my behaviour, like the girl that just came in a minute ago. That's your standard now too, is it? I prove Earth's measured flat, and you're going to assess me. Who cares? So you got my flat Earth measurements versus your pathetic psychological evaluation of me as an individual. How pathetic. You think you'd have some bloody
that's
globe
pathetic,
proof?
Yeah.
Yeah, where's your globe proof? Everything you've tried to put to us so far has used a flat Earth, mate.
I would really like to talk without getting interrupted, like just a moment ago.
Oh, I'd like an acknowledgement of the flat Earth proof I give people. It's just very often I don't. It's a shame we don't often get what we want, is it? You know, people want to bleat and moan about how badly they're treated when they get offered their flat Earth proof from their own examples. People want to moan about their treatment. I know. Rather than offer a rebuttal.
A person is going to whine if they can't have a proper debate, man. You see the issue here? You aren't letting me debate. Or sorry, not you. The server mods, which we all know is basically you.
That was a fantastic piece of globe evidence. I'm really sorry I constantly interrupted that fine piece of globe evidence that you just presented to us in terms of your bleatings about how the server is operating. Wonderful. I'm glad you got uninterrupted out.
Because I can't have a debate. Nathan,
Maybe if you say it 16 more times, it'll be even better globe evidence. Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat. For latitude, it was on the grid that this gentleman offered us earlier with his little straw man false dichotomy about flight paths. We pointed out that the grid's measured on a flat Earth. That was our argument in debate. I mean, we could appeal to how the server's operating right now, couldn't we? And how I'm behaving and how aggressive I am, rather than address the flat Earth measurements that we present here, because that's easier when you lose. Isn't it, lads? On the globe side. And lasses on the globe side.
Is it?
Yeah, John.
I would like to hear the other man talk, not you. Nathan?
Is it acceptable to use false facts or fallacious logic in a debate? Is that what you call a debate?
But it isn't fallacious. You're completely disregarding my claim and my just immediate question to you, all right? Which is why a flight from Sydney
We've already
to
had
Chile
this. Stop him.
takes
Stop him.
less
Stop him. He hasn't listened. The grid was measured flat with Polaris for the latitude and longitude system. We've already addressed this rinse and repeater. Maybe if you get closer to your mic while I'm pointing out the rebuttal you've already had 5 times. Maybe if you really chant through the top of me. Undoubtedly, a mod's had to step in because I've said, we've already had this. It's boring. Yeah? A minute ago, it's how you're being treated and what you're getting constantly fundy muted by me. No, we've had this claim already, haven't we? Now you need to repeat it like it hasn't been addressed. That's a tactic. We have addressed it. The grid on it was measured flat. You didn't respond to that. You started appealing to my aggression level. That's all you got. Grid flat, measured with Polaris.
So it was a debate.
There was a debate. He lost.
Right. It's just his claim was against the position he was putting forward. That is an immediate fail in a debate. And because you're immediately failing in the debate, you're saying there's not a debate. Well, I guess you could think of it that way. I guess, if you want to believe that, sure.
Alrighty then. With that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to today's Politics Discord server and G+ panels for making the live show possible. And, of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, gifting memberships, hit me up on Ko-Fi and PayPal, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.